Hello and welcome to the 2023-2024 PHS Soccer team. So excited to get this year started and get this team on the tracks. Lots and lots of promise and lots and lots of talent, lots and lots of good guys I know that we're bringing in. So very excited for that. Um, if you haven't seen the team announcement, here are the gentlemen that have been invited to join the group at this point in time, and super pumped about this group. So before we get started, I do want to make sure that everybody understands what we're about, the things that are going to be important as we're moving forward to maintain your standing in the group and just be part of what we're doing. We want Panthers. We want guys that are part of the Panther culture, that are living the Panther way, that are doing the things that are going to make them just better in all ways, not just on the field, but probably more importantly and absolutely more importantly off the field. And so these are the things that are important to us. I'll kind of throw this up here, and we can share this with you later too. But if you want to take a shot of that and read it, I'm going to share it in our Team Snap group so that you can see that and study on it a little bit. But we spent a lot of time talking about the principles, the values that are important to us, and the things that are going to help us be successful. And so it is an acronym, PANTHER, as you see written across my shirt here, Panther Soccer. And those are the things that are important to us. First of all, P, purpose. We know that every single player, every single young man that is part of our group has a purpose. They have a specific thing that they add to the group, a specific dynamic that they bring to the team. We all have a purpose. And so, our goal here with our team, with our group, is to really search that out, to be finding out what that purpose is, how we can offer some unique contribution to our group and to our team. We want each person, once they've found that or as they're searching that out, to be living that out, to be living in that purpose, to be loving that purpose, to be driven in their daily choices by that purpose, to understand first that they get to choose how they respond to situations as they are the creator. The purpose is seeing what your creation can be, and then putting the first things first so that creation can come to life. I'm kind of referencing some of our 7 habits that we talk about as a group, and purpose is really knowing what that second habit is, knowing that you are truly set and looking forward to moving forward and to creating that creation. So, number 1, purpose. Number 2, attitude. That is the A in Panther. And attitude is very, very important. It can start with a person's spoken words, but it is always on display with their body language, their demeanor, just how they carry themselves, how they respond to situations, both good, both bad. That attitude is huge. We want to see high fives over shoulder shrugs, the disappointment whenever that comes. How do we deal with it? It's active engagement and listening over wandering off or being a distraction. When players or young men are really focused on themselves, and we'll get to in here in just a second, that attitude comes out, and they begin to show it in ways that become distractions. So that the attitude, the good attitude, the right kind of attitude, it brings confidence not only to that player but to their team. It brings confidence and positivity Whenever you're positive, it really affects the folks around you. That attitude is contagious and it makes a difference. So, next up, not about me. Not about me is is really what it says. The important thing there is that you're putting the team first. You're putting yourself second in what you do. You're not motivated by the attention that your own achievements may bring, or you're not motivated by the spotlight. You don't need that attention. You don't need that spotlight to get your satisfaction, to get your joy. Your joy comes from being able to celebrate your teammates and celebrating your teammates' success more than their own. That's not to say that you can't have some fun with what you do and what you're accomplishing, but you're just that much more excited when you see your teammates succeed and you want them to be the best that they can be. You're lifting them up, you're celebrating them. We're constantly looking for ways to cover, to support, and to set up our teammates for success. And that is being selfless. That is putting others before yourself, and that is a huge part of our culture. The next letter is trust. Trust, it makes or breaks. If there is no trust, then things slip, things fall apart, things fade away. You're not sure of your decisions as you're trying to do the things that you're supposed to do because you don't trust either yourself or you don't trust your teammate. Trust, our players should be creating, maintaining, and growing a belief that they can be counted on. And a lot of times that comes with consistency. It comes with showing up, being very present, being there with the right attitude, putting your heart into it, putting a lot of other things that we're going to talk about here with our culture, putting those things on display, putting those things into action. And when we do create trust, that consistency, it's going to create expectation. And that expectation, and it kind of circles back to just continuing to build that trust. Players should first trust themselves. And sometimes that's hard to do because you haven't put the work in to be able to trust yourself. You don't know because you haven't done the things to set yourself up for success. But when you have done those things, it's second nature. Trusting yourself is easy. Trusting yourself is, man, it's just what you do. Trusting themselves, trusting their teammates, and that comes with some consistency as well. Putting the work in with your teammates, getting to know your teammates, trying to be around them, trying to learn what they like, what they don't like, how they act, how you can help them in situations that may be challenging for them. But it's also trusting the coaches, expecting or knowing that the coaches are trying to do everything in their power to set you up for success, to help build both your character and you as a player. Trusting that everything that we're doing is trying to bring about the best for you. We want to see the best out of you and the best for you. And so trust is important for the coaching staff as well. Players should also be trusted by their teammates and their coaches. So that's where the player comes in and has their own responsibility of building that trust. If they're not doing their job, if they're not showing up, if they're not performing in a consistent fashion, then the trust is waning or broken. And so it's very important. There's something else that we need to trust. It kind of goes back to that coaching part and trusting the process. And I'll talk about this a lot more later, but we're going to talk about stacking days, not just showing up when the preseason is here and stepping out on the field and thinking, "Oh, I'm awesome. I'm just awesome. I'm just going to step out there and start throwing down." When you didn't do anything in the fall, You never showed up in the summer. Throughout the winter, you just sat around and drank eggnog and ate your Christmas cookies, and you just there was no effort put in to when you're showing up and you're beginning to try to put the team together to go compete. Trust is built by competing in the summer. Trust is built by competing in the fall and through the winter, competing in your plan that you're going to develop throughout the summer and the fall, competing within yourself to be the best version of yourself. And so those things, they've got to start early. It's a process, and that process is what's going to take us to where we want to be. So that's PANT. Next up is H, is heart. Heart is being all in, knowing that there's nothing else, there's no turning back. It's being sold out, that I don't have a second option, that I'm not just looking for an opportunity to drop this thing and run and go the other way, because I've put my heart in this. I put my soul in this. I put my energy, my effort. I put my time. I put my money. I am in this, and my heart is in it. It's going to require some sacrifice, and oftentimes when you do put your heart in something, emotions are going to be created. It's going to mean something to you. It's going to be important. It's something when you see at the end of the day, at the end of the year, maybe at the end of a bad game or a good game, when you see guys that are carrying some emotion, you know that they've really put something into it, and that heart has been invested. And there's just, and a lot of times you're going to see that throughout the game come out with a little bit of an edge. You're going to see just a little more, just a little extra, something that you didn't think was there, but you've got more in you than you really realized. And that's all about leaving everything on the field. So PANTHE is next, and that's excellence. Excellence is also very important. All these things are very important. I keep saying that. Excellence is about doing the best you can with all you have. You could take excellence and go in a different direction, but we believe that excellence is actually achievable by every single player. And not every player is going to realize that, but it is part of what we're talking about in being excellent. When we know that each player is doing everything they can with what they've been gifted with. Right now, we're all in different phases of our life. We're in different steps here. Some guys are freshmen, some sophomore, junior, senior. Some guys have played all kinds of club soccer. Some guys are straight A students. Some guys are churchgoers. We're all in different places, different phases. But wherever you are, excellence is about getting the best out of your current circumstance. And so that takes commitment. You absolutely must be committed to excellence. If you're not committed to it, you're going to easily be distracted. You're going to not put those first things first to achieve excellence. It's about giving our best, our very best. And it starts with being proactive, making those choices that, my circumstance may not be great. I may not be the most athletic kid. I may not be the fastest kid. But I guarantee I'm going to be working day in, week out, to become the best version of myself, to become the fastest athlete that I can be, to become the smartest athlete that I can be, to become the best soccer player that can pull the ball out of the air that I can be. And that's what we're looking for with excellence. And many, many times when a player has put in that kind of work, stacked those days after days after days, the other version of excellence, that true quality that you're looking for, is going to come out. You're going to see it because you've put in the work day after day. PANTHER, respect. Respect is something that seems to be very challenging for not only this generation, just any younger generation. It's always a thing. When I was a teenager, respect was always a thing. When my parents were teenagers, respect. Oh, these kids, they don't respect anybody. You know, it goes on and on. There's always this difference between the older generation and the younger generation. But that doesn't mean that it can't be built upon, that it can't improve, that we can't create a culture of respect within our team, within our players. And so respect is about valuing, admiring, and treating others with dignity. You know, what that means is I'm going to make sure that if it's important to me, I'm gonna expect that it's important to you. But I'm also gonna try to figure out what is important to you, and that's showing respect to you. And dignity is making sure that I'm using proper language when I'm talking to you, I'm addressing you. It's making sure that that what I say to you is being delivered in a way that you're going to receive it. We're treating others the way that we would want to be treated. It's kind of that golden rule that you've heard growing up. Uh, it's about making sure that you understand that person and how they want to be treated, and treating them that way. That's respect. And this includes not only we're kind of talking about the player coach relationship. It absolutely does include that, but it includes your teammates. It includes your opponents, respecting your opponents. It includes referees. Uh, you're going to get cautioned for disrespecting referees, maybe even sent off with red cards. So it is very important, not just for the competition side of it, but because that's who we want to be. This is the kind of uh, culture that we want to create, and this is who we want to be, and how we want to represent ourselves. I love one of the things that the great Pele coined a phrase called the beautiful game. Respect the beautiful game. Oyogo Bonito. And it was about respecting everything that it brought, the game of soccer. And it included all these things, this respect for players and coaches and teammates and referees. But not only that, it went to the next level of what can the game offer you? What can it teach you? And if you will approach it with the right kind of respect, man, it can teach you so many things about life, the lessons you will learn, and how you'll be able to treat maybe a future spouse or future children of your own, your siblings, your parents, your coworkers. You're going to learn a lot through the beautiful game, and if you respect it, it's gonna impact your life. So throughout all this, the main thing that you should take away is if I'm implementing these things into my life, I want to be focused on not necessarily the results, but how I'm trying to implement these things on a daily basis. In other words, who am I becoming? At the end of the day, we want to know who you're becoming rather than what you do, because we're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw this up. We're going to mess up things as we go along. But if we are focused and intent on putting those mistakes behind us and moving forward, knowing that these are our core values and our principles, we are going to be better men because of it. And this is what we're going to encourage. This is what we're going to require as we move forward. So, that super important. I know I've taken almost 20 minutes of time talking about this, but this is the most important thing that I'm going to talk about throughout this video. So go back, listen to it again, ask questions, ask how can I improve in these areas? How can I become better with my attitude? How can I be more selfless? How can I learn to trust myself, put my heart into something, bring about excellence and respect? I mean, all these things are going to be things that we want you to be focused on. We want these to be the primary focus of everything we do. And if they are, we're going to be successful. I promise, because these are the things that are going uh, to equate to how we want to become the best versions of ourselves. So, with that said, I'm going to move into a lot of the paperwork side of things, the things that we're going to be expecting moving forward, and make sure that we've got all this stuff, all the loose ends tied up. So, we've had our first tryout May 26th, and we have now posted the roster. And congratulations to these young men for being invited to be part of the Panther Nation, the Panther culture with PHS Soccer. And very, very excited to get these guys rolling and ready to play. The very first thing that needs to happen is you need to be focused on scheduling a physical and getting that information taken care of. The sports physicals are things that you can get at either an urgent clinic. I know that we've got the urgent care, a couple of those here in town, Crossroads. Um, you don't have to have insurance to go to those places and to get that sports physical completed. They I can't remember exactly how much it is. You used to be able to get them for near $10, but I think it's more like $20 or $25 for that sports physical. Before you participate in anything athletically, this sports physical needs to be completed and uploaded on the Final Forms website. And the paper that was handed out at our tryouts has the Final Forms website on there. It is Sumner-TN dot finalforms.com. And that's where you're going to go. You have to create a profile. If you have been in Final Forms before, you'll already have one, and should have a password, hopefully, that you remember that you'll have to put in to be able to upload that physical. When you upload the physical, go ahead and complete the rest of Final Forms. The rest of it is very important to be eligible to play. We absolutely need the physical completed to be able to participate at all. But the rest of the Final Forms information is also necessary for you to actually be eligible when we get around to the season. So I would love for you to be able to get that part of it done by the end of the summer as far as the rest of Final Forms. But the physical needs to be done before you participate in anything. Now, if you were a player that played on the team last year, or you participated in any other PHS activities, then you should already have a physical that was completed for 2022, 2023. And that's going to be good up till the end of the school year, the calendar school year, which is June the 30th. So you're going to be okay to participate in play days before June 30th, but after that, going into July, you need to get your physical done. It is a requirement. Don't show up at a play day without your physical done and upload it into the system. If you're having trouble getting it uploaded, try to make sure that you reach out to me or Coach Tanner. We'll get with the athletic directors and make sure that we can help you to get that done. You don't have to have a scanner or anything like that. As long as you have a smartphone, you can take a picture of it and upload it there. I will do my best to try to get a copy of the form so that you know what that looks like and you know what you're uploading, and I'll share that in our Team Snap application. So next thing that you want to be doing is throughout the off season, we've got summer, we've got fall. We want you taking part in these summer activities, which would be play days. and we want you for the fall to begin developing and executing a fall personal development plan. I'm going to get into the details of that a little bit later, but this plan needs to be submitted back to the coaching staff by June the 9th. We will be sharing a link that you'll be able to kind of make this simple so that you can indicate to us what your plan is. It's going to be a Google form that we'll share in Team Snap, so that you can begin to communicate back to us what your plan is. A part of that plan could be attending our fall off-season weight training and conditioning. No, I'm sorry. There is some fall off-season speed and strength training, but the weight training and conditioning is when we're expecting everybody to come back in as a team after all the fall activities have been completed. This is going to begin right after Thanksgiving for the last. They're not the last 3 weeks of school. I think they're the last 3 of the last 4 weeks of school, and we'll be meeting every day after school, starting at that point, and then moving forward into January after Christmas break, winter break. We'll be back in it and really going full force with our weight training and conditioning program. And the expectation is that everybody is there for that. We're bringing the entire team back together for that. And then finally, after all this is said and done, TSSAA does require us to have a final tryout. At that point, that is the technical first day of practice, and that is February 12th of 2024. If you've met expectations, if you're becoming the best version of yourself, by executing both attending the summer play days as much as you can. Looking for, probably 50% or so of that would be the strongly encouraged recommendation on those summer play days. Developing and executing that fall personal development plan, and then of course being at our weight training and conditioning as we get past Thanksgiving and move forward through January and on into February. If you're fulfilling your end of the bargain, you're going to have a spot on this roster when we come around to that final tryout date in February. So I've got on our sheet some other dates that are called out as being important. We'll put all these dates in Team Snap. So when you log in to Team Snap, you're going to see all this already populated, I hope. My plan is to have that completed later on today. So want to point out that club tryouts for White House Soccer Club and Tennessee United Soccer Club are going to be happening the week of May the 30th through June the 1st. Tennessee United's tryouts are Tuesday, May the 30th, and Wednesday, May the 31st. These tryouts are going to be at different places. The information is on your sheet, but want to make sure that we share that with you. We have been talking about doing a Tennessee United North club team like we did last year, working with Tennessee United. And that team was pretty successful in accomplishing its purposes and helping to provide an opportunity for guys in Portland to be able to compete throughout the fall and become better players. And asked about the interest level for that for this upcoming season, and really only got a handful to respond and say that they were interested. Please message me if you did not speak with me over the next couple of days and let me know if this is something that you're interested in to help fulfill your part of your fall off-season program, your fall off-season plan. At this point, it doesn't look promising that we would have enough that would be interested, but please let me know as soon as possible so that we can begin to work with Tennessee United and get that set up. So after tryouts, moving into the summer, will be play days there's going to be 5 weeks, 3 in June, 2 in July, where we will have play days scheduled on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. These will all be at Richland Park from 6:30 to 8. The Mondays will be coach-led sessions where the coaches will kind of lead and set up and organize some of the activities. Thursdays will be activities that would be led and organized by you, the player. We'll have coaches there to be able to assist and soundboard, but we're going to give you an opportunity to be leaders. And so we want you to try to create some things that wouldn't just be, hey, guys, just throw a ball out there and 14v14 or whatever, however many guys are there. So we want to see you do something that is creating something that you think is going to be helpful for yourself and for your teammates. And then Saturdays is just going to be totally open. That is where you show up and it's just pickup game, totally pick up. Coaches probably won't even be there. We'll probably make sure that players can contact us, grab a bag of balls. You might need some cones up at Richland because I'm sure stuff won't be striped. So we'll make those things available to be picked up, and you guys can go up and just have some fun, playground ball. So all is good there. On the bottom of the sheet, we've got our coach contact information, and I want to emphasize something on that because the major thing that you need to do to be able to receive communication from us is make sure that you're on the Team Snap app. Team Snap is available for download through either Apple or Android. So it doesn't matter what platform you're using, we can all communicate with each other there. You're going to make sure to go in and turn notifications on so that you can see whenever somebody, maybe teammates, are talking through our team chat. You may want to turn that off, that's fine, because normally my communication is going to come through alerts. And make sure that you have your alerts turned on, that you're able to receive those notifications. That's where coaching staff is going to make sure to push critical information to you, and you should be able to go into the app to look at files that may have been uploaded or check things on the schedule. So Team Snap is going to be vital for our communication. It's super helpful to be able to make sure that we're all on the same page. So you're going to want to get that set up. If you don't have cell phones, or I'm sorry, you don't have a smartphone, and that's an issue for you, please let me know. We'll make sure that we are communicating with you so that you're not missing out on anything. So just give me a heads up. I think most of us, if not all of us, are going to have smartphones. Most of the students have smartphones, and so almost all have smartphones. So we should be able to all be on the app and be able to communicate through that. All right, so I want to spend some time talking about the expectations for summer and fall and why it's important. I've kind of hinted at that final tryout in February, and right now this initial roster group that we've posted includes 39 gentlemen. That's a lot. It's a big roster, but we want to give everybody a chance to be part of this. And one night and be able to make those decisions. We don't know what kind of player that you want to be a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, what kind of man that you want to be. And if you are committed to growing, we want you to be part of what we're doing. And so the expectations for summer and fall are going to be important. Now, I'm going to let you know none of this is mandatory. None of what I'm going to say is absolutely required. But there are expectations. We've talked about our culture, our principles, our values, and being part of this group is going to require you to be showing, to be living out those things. So we're going to give you some feedback along the way. whether it be, in person here and there throughout the summer. The first touch point, first checkpoint is going to be right there at the end of the summer. We're going to make sure that we're sharing with you a roster grouping. So it's going to look like, hey, at this point in time, uh, this group of players, we'll say maybe 16, 18, 20 guys, I don't know what the number will be, would be part of the varsity group. And then we're going to say, hey, this next group of players, 16, 18 guys, however many that is, would be part of the junior varsity group. And then there's going to be very likely some guys that are not going to be in either of those groups, and it's going to be like, here are the rest. Now you got to understand that we're going to be limited. One, by coaching staff. We are hopeful to be able to fully build out some JV coaching staff. We had a couple of guys that helped last year, Coach Bo Grimes and Coach Juan Baltazar. I'm not sure about their availability and what they are looking like for next year. I know Coach Bo Grimes will be back with us, but still maybe in a part-time fashion. So for us to be able to support, from a coaching standpoint, 40 guys, we're looking for help. We're needing to see if we can find some folks that are available to be around for practices 5 days a week when we get around to that during our weight training and conditioning and on into practice. So that's going to be a limiting factor for us as we move along, and we may have to make cuts on February 12th because we don't have the coaching staff available to be able to invest and develop everyone. So you need to keep that in mind as we move forward. But there may be other things that, as you see yourself on the outside looking in, you may say, yeah, I'm not sure this investment's worth it. Even if we are able to build out the coaching staff, um, if I'm not getting playing time, if that's the thing that's important to you, and there may be, if we have 40 guys, you can imagine, say 15, 16 guys getting playing time on a varsity level and 15, 16 guys getting playing time on a junior varsity level. There's going to be 8 to 10 guys that wouldn't get any playing time. Now, in my opinion, that shouldn't be your highest valued thing. Being part of our group, being part of this organization, being able to continue to develop and become the best version of yourself. I think that's the most important thing. And so, but I don't get to create your priorities. You do that. And so you can make that decision based on what your priorities are and understanding where you are. And if you don't understand where you are, come to us, talk to us, communicate with us. If you're struggling with being able to fulfill some parts of your plan for the off season, for summer or for fall, you need to communicate that with us. We're going to try to be in communication with everybody, but this communication is a two-way game. There were guys that I expected to be at tryouts that were not at tryouts. They did not call, they did not text, they did not message on our Team Snap app, and they're not included on the roster at this point. So communication is vitally important. You need to communicate if we get into the part of conditioning where you're really expected to be there and you're not showing up. We need to know that you're not going to be there, and if there's a reason, we would love to know that reason so that we're like, well, of course, they've grandmother's in the hospital and they need to they're visiting, or it's a religious obligation, or they're on vacation visiting family in Mexico. We're always going to make sure that family and your faith are going to be prioritized, and so we're not just trying to make soccer the most important thing in your life. Don't get us wrong. We do feel like it's going to provide a lot of value for you, but it is not the end all be all. So I want to go through in detail some thoughts about the summer and the fall, and provide you some examples of what that looks like, because creating expectations is very important. So throughout the summer, we're going to have 3 times 5, 15 play days available that you can attend. Again, we are looking for 50%. We're strongly encouraging that kind of attendance. You can come to every single one. We would love to have you at every single play day, but there is some skin that we want you, some minimum skin that we want you to put in the game. That would be our expectation. That would be what we would be strongly encouraging you to do. There, we're currently working with Portland Soccer Club and Tennessee United Soccer Club to create a camp that would be held July 10th through 13th. Our expectation is that, and this is a big fundraiser for us. I think that we ended up bringing in well over $500 last year. But not only that, it's something that helps us to invest in the next generation, that next group of players that are coming up. And there's just something about giving back to your community in that way, and passing down what you know, what you've learned to the next group. So the summer camp is going to be something that we would be participating in, leading as a fundraiser. And another big fundraiser, which is actually going to be $2,000-$3,000, depending on some sponsorships and things of that nature for it, and what we may be able to get done with it, is I think it's August 5th. For some reason, I don't have that date written down on here, but it'll be on Team Snap. It's the first August, the first Saturday in August, and our high school girls soccer team will be participating in a play day that we are hosting. 18 high school girls soccer teams will be in Portland at Richland Park on that day, and we want to put on a fantastic event. We would love to see this number grow even next year, because the more teams, the more money that we have coming into our program. And so we want to make this thing the best event that it can be. It is from typically 7-8 a.m. in the morning to 4 to 5 p.m. in the evening. We would see these teams in and out and playing ball throughout the day. There'll be a whole lot more information about that later, but it is a big fundraiser for us, and we want to make sure that we have it well staffed. So as we get there to the end of summer, I want to cover one thing that I didn't cover before. I talked about giving you kind of this this presentation of, hey, here's our varsity group at this point, here's our junior varsity group at this point, and here is the next group that is not included in varsity and JV at this point. You're still part of the group, still part of the team, still encouraged to continue to be the best version of yourself. But when we're going to share that towards the end of July, so that you can make a decision if you want to continue on or if you don't, because August the 1st is when our non-refundable $100 non-refundable deposit is due. Again, we're not looking to cut anybody, but if you want to back off at some point later on, then we would not be planning to refund your deposit that you made to further the team and what we're doing. So you'll have that touch point. You'll have that opportunity to make that decision at that point in time, whether or not you want to get that in. If you're comfortable, you're confident right now, you can. Coach Tanner will be getting with our our finance department at the school um, here at the end of May, 1st of June, to get that set up to be able to be paid online. Or you can pay with cash or check, and I'll go through our money sheet here in just a second. But I wanted to kind of cover that as kind of a chronological point of order there. So after we get through the summer and we get into the fall, uh, we're going to be expecting that we're beginning to execute on our fall off-season plans. Now, throughout the summer, throughout the fall, we're working hard and living out our PHS Soccer Panther values and principles. When we get into the fall personal improvement plan, that development plan, uh, there's going to be some expectations that you're following through on those things. But before we talk about that, or before we get into that, let's make sure that we understand what options that we have available to us. Um, Doing nothing is not meeting expectation. It shouldn't be an option for you to be part of this group. And so doing something would include some kind of physically demanding sport. So that could be cross country, that could be club soccer, that could be football. I know we got a couple of guys that are on the football team. I've heard a couple of guys talk about kicking. And so those things are things that would be part of this fall personal improvement, personal development plan. Another thing that could be part of it would be our strength and speed sessions. So I will be up here just about, well, pretty much every single school day. From what we did last year was 5:45 to 6:45 a.m. in the morning before school, and Monday, Tuesdays, Thursday, Friday. So not Wednesdays. So not every single day. I misspoke there. So Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. And Mondays and Thursdays are a little bit more of an upper body focused on the strength side of things, and Tuesdays and Fridays are a lower body focus on the strength side of things. There's a speed element and a core element on every single day, because those things are just critical to the building of the athlete. And so these speed strength sessions, they are kind of meant to help a soccer athlete, but they could be applied to any sport. In any sport, you want to get faster, you want to get stronger. A lot of that occurs with vertical jumping ability, and so there'll be a lot of plyometric type things that are built in for the speed side. But really good stuff. So your personal improvement plan could look like one of these examples that we're giving down here as an example A, B, or C. One thing that I haven't mentioned that is that's also something that should be included in your personal improvement plan is doing a little bit of on-ball training yourself. Now, those things are going to be more on you. On the honor system, we'll work with you to develop a plan for that on-ball training. Throughout the summer is our plan for that. We want you to have just the shell of your fall improvement plan turned into us by June the 9th through that Google form. But the individual work, the individual ball work, that's going to be an ongoing discussion throughout the summer, so that we make sure that we're finding the right kind of program that is customized for you. And that may be, if you're playing club soccer, it'd probably be a little bit less time on ball training, because we're going to want you to spend other time doing maybe some speed and strength training instead of doing on ball training, which you would get somewhat with your club team. So that maybe the individual on ball training for somebody that's playing club soccer may just be twice a week, 30 minutes for each of those days. Some 1v1 work, some agility-based passing exercises, maybe some being able to pull the ball out of the air, clearing a ball where you would need a partner there to just serve a ball into the air to you, and you're just up and you're clearing it. 10 minutes of that kind of work. Something that's very specific. Now, again, that's going to be different for everybody, but there are going to be some things that we probably will say everybody needs to work on: your 1v1 attacking or your 1v1 defending skills. So, so with that said, I'll kind of talk through example A, example B, example C, and just to give you an idea of what a fall improvement plan could be. So example A, I'm a player that was born in 2007, and I try out for Tennessee United, and I make the Tennessee United 2007 Red Team. So I'm playing club soccer as one of the things that I'm doing. Now, as I'm playing club soccer, I need to go to those practices. I need to go to those games. I'm paying the money to play club, and I want to be engaged and get the most out of it that I can. So that's a part of the plan for example A. In addition to that, like I was saying before, with that club's soccer training, I still need to be working on getting faster, getting stronger. So I would include in my plan um, coming up here on Monday mornings and on Thursday mornings, and doing the upper body strength training with the speed elements that are involved there. So you would only be coming half the time to the morning workouts, but it would be very valuable to you. You would be working on that chest, be working on those arms, be working on that core, becoming a stronger individual, and it's going to increase your confidence. I know when guys get in the weight room, there's just, especially in the morning, you get your mindset right, and you're leaving, you've accomplished something at the very first of the day, and you're ready to move forward and just continue to knock the day out. So we've got our club team, we've got our Monday, Thursday speed strength sessions, and then in this example, another couple of days a week. Maybe this is also on Monday and Thursday. We're going to find 30 minutes where we can get to the park or in our backyard even to work on some specific things for us to improve on ball. So maybe some creative juggling where we're using different parts of our feet, different parts of our legs, different parts of our shoulder, our head, to make sure that we're getting more and more comfortable with the ball. So example A. Example B, I'm playing football. So I'm going to get speed, I'm going to get strength, I'm going to get some conditioning elements to that with playing football. Obviously, the football team is going to have requirements that you're there, that you're participating. And so I'm not worried about you skipping out on that if you've committed to playing football. The other part of that improvement plan is is going to be you're going to need some on-ball work because if you don't touch a soccer ball from summer to when we show up and have some open facility times in December, November, January, if you go 3-4 months without doing anything, you are not you're not helping yourself. You're not becoming that best version of yourself. And so with playing football, the expectation there may be that you've got some maybe 30, 45-minute sessions of on-ball training 4 days a week, so that you're getting some good on-ball training. You're actually sharpening your skill instead of seeing those skills erode away, and you're ready whenever you show up in the winter. Example C, and I've talked to a lot of guys about this. I'm expecting good things on this because I really, really want to be a team that is getting stronger throughout the game and finishing the game and being the physically imposing opponent. Just like the classic movie, Remember the Titans, where the coach is imploring his boys and saying, "We want them to remember forever the night that they played the Titans." That's the kind of team and attitude and physicality that we want to bring to the field. And I think cross country is going to help us to do that, because you're going to become a more better conditioned player before we ever show up to our weight training and conditioning program. You're going to be miles ahead, almost literally miles ahead of the game. So cross country is going to be something that I think is going to be really helpful to us. Uh, I have several guys that have already indicated that they're interested in that. I'm going to be passing those names along to Coach Doris and Coach Witten. But if you did not express interest to me, you may be able to take a screenshot of that and see that. I'll try to share this information in our Team Snap app as well. And cross country, they're beginning their training throughout the summer. So looking to get the running going so that they can be ready to compete in those cross country meets. You may want to participate in cross country without participating in meets, and the coaches have said that's a possibility. So that's okay. I know when talking with Coach Doris, he said, a lot of guys say that, but when fall rolls around and the other guys are competing, there's something inside of us that wants to compete. And so he said they may say that at first, but he said 9 times out of 10 that they're going to want to run. They're going to want to run the meets. Just for whatever it's worth, message from Coach Doris there. And Coach Doris is helping now with the cross country team. I was able to meet him for the first time, and he has probably 20 years of experience coaching cross country. So we've got somebody, in addition to Coach Witten, that has now joined the staff. That man, they bring a lot of expertise, and they're going to be able to help you grow in the mental game of being able to overcome some adversity. And our team needs that. We need it desperately. And so I would encourage you guys to challenge yourselves in that way. So with that, I do think that there is some upper body training and some core training that you could still do, include in this example C. See Mondays and Thursdays, and we'll work around meets and things like that. But I'd say some commitment there for that, for those kinds of things. We'll be talking with the cross country coaches to make sure that we're not overlapping or overdoing anything, because we want to make sure that you're going to be in condition to be able to compete at a high level for cross country. So we wouldn't do anything that's going to interfere with that. And then the other part is that on-ball training. If you're running cross country and you're doing some speed strength stuff, that has nothing to do with the ball. You're going to need to find some time. That may be a 4-day, 5-day-a-week type thing, so that you're still improving that on-ball work and being able to work with a soccer ball. So those are 3 examples. There's probably an unlimited number of things that you could come up with to make yourself better throughout the fall. So looking forward to having that conversation with each of you, and looking forward to seeing what your responses are going to be and what ideas that you have for that. So said a lot, right at an hour already, but I want to make sure that I go over this very quickly. The money is certainly an important thing that we deal with. I've already talked about the $100 that would be due August 1st. And those payments can be made through the Sumner County Schools online school payment website, or cash check, which the check would need to be made payable to Portland High School, with kind of in that memo line, PHS Soccer. And that money should be delivered to Coach Tanner Nelson. He is kind of the treasurer of the group and taking care of the finances. So I do have the online payment website listed on our information sheet, which I'll upload so that you'll have that. And if you want to go ahead and make that online payment, you can. Again, it's not due until August the 1st. And so if we get to the August the 1st, you haven't made that online payment or you haven't made that deposit, uh, we're going to have to talk about how we deal with that. But again, meeting expectations. These are deadlines that we need to make sure that we're taking care of. So after the $100, we know that there's going to be some additional funds that are going to be needed. We've got some fundraisers that are going. We know that this kind of stuff is not going to be due until January, at least January, if not on into February of 2024. We don't know what those totals are going to be because of our fundraisers, but another big issue for us right now is the PHS administration is changing the game for us on what we can do from sponsorship side of things, and so we're not able to sell sponsorships for our own program like we did before. At least we think we're not going to be able to. The school wants to sell the big sponsorships to the big corporations and try to fund our programs that way instead of having soccer, baseball, volleyball, football, basketball, you name it, show up to McDonald's, 14 different kids from the 8 different sports or however many it is, and asking for sponsorships. They're trying to limit that and make it maybe the big bucks sponsorships and try to spread that around. We don't know what that looks like yet, so we're waiting on our athletic directors and principal to give us more information about that and how that's going to impact our budget. But our budget is anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000, so we have some major expenses. And if you folks know of some good ways to raise some funds, then we are open to some ideas. We do have several things planned already, which are included on our sheet, and we need everybody engaged in those things because we want to make the most out of our fundraising opportunities. So that brings me to the end of the information that I have. I guess I do have 2 other sheets sitting over here that I want to make sure that we'll get these taken care of hopefully throughout the summer. I believe almost everybody that showed up to the tryout filled out the TSSAA eligibility questions, and many people filled out the permission to travel form. You should have taken one of these home with you from the tryout, and you need to bring those back to me on a Monday or a Thursday at the play day. These things need to be taken care of throughout the summer so that, again, we're taking care of all the paperwork, all the final forms, all the physicals, all those things are done, and we're not worrying about those things, the administration of that kind of stuff, as we are really trying to move forward with being the best versions of ourselves and our team. So I think that covers it all. It was a lot. We're a little bit over an hour. I'm sure there may be questions. Feel free to ask those questions through our Team Snap app on the team chat, because there probably are going to be other people that have a similar question to you, and I can address all those questions in writing that way so that people can get the answers that they're looking for. So let's use those things to our advantage. I'm just looking through my notes to make sure there's nothing else that I'm leaving off that I've missed. I think that I have covered pretty much everything, though. Looks good. So you didn't have to show up at Portland High School. Maybe you could watch this over the course of 2 or 3 different sittings, make it convenient for you. So hopefully the YouTube version of this video is our parent-player meeting has been helpful. If you've got any questions, again, let's ask it through our Team Snap Team Chat application there. And man, I'm looking forward to getting things going. So I hope that you guys have the same excitement that I do in getting things going. So let's go get it. Let's go get it, Panther Nation, Panther Soccer. Love you guys and super excited for what's ahead.